Welcome everybody to another edition of the Iceman on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel on this Tuesday morning. Um, Last night, an epic Raw after SummerSlam. If you didn't see it, you're going to want to see it. A lot of good things happened last night on Monday Night Raw. We're going to get to it. We're going to try to condense it as much as possible. The show opened up with a package of Triple H showing Seth Rollins all around the WWE uh, studios in Stamford, Connecticut. You know, as if Rollins has never been there before and never been around the whole thing. But it was a great video clip for TV. Um, and so anyway, we get into Monday Night Raw, and of course, as we all thought, Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar's music hit. Lesnar and Heyman came out, and Heyman was spieling off his dialogue about what happened at SummerSlam on Sunday night about The Undertaker tapping out. And we all saw it. Um, and of course, like I said in a previous video, this is going to set up for another match. Uh, Now, Paul Heyman wanted The Undertaker to come out on Monday Night Raw. Obviously, he wasn't there. Uh, Music hits, it's Bo Dallas. And Bo Dallas comes out and does his usual Bo Dallas gimmick. You saw the smile on Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar just suplexed the hell out of Bo Dallas. He did it enough until to the point where Bo Dallas was motionless in the ring. He and Heyman left the ring and then went back on two different occasions and continued to suplex out Bo Dallas. So that was a pretty good segment. Much as I expected, you knew that Paul Heyman was going to come out and, you know, in the defense of Brock Lesnar. So that was pretty cool. So anyway, moving on, we saw the New Day come out. Xavier Woods on the trombone, not too bad as well either, going up against the Lucha Dragons. Not a bad match, but this match was actually a prelude to much bigger things to come. The New Day ended up getting the win over the Dragons, but right after that, 10 years in the making, you heard the music of none other than the Dudley Boys. Bubba Ray and Devon are back in the WWE after a 10-year absence, and they made a statement last night by taking out the New Day. What an incredible moment it was on Monday Night Raw to see Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley back within the WWE. This was a shock. I didn't read anything about this, so this was totally unexpected. This caught me off guard. I marked out like hell when this happened. This was phenomenal. Totally, totally phenomenal. So up next, we had Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in a rematch against the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. Pretty good match. It went both ways for quite some time. And towards the end of this match, Reigns and Ambrose were getting the better of Bray Wyatt. The lights went out, and all of a sudden you saw a guy outside with a mask. He is now the third member of the Wyatt family. This guy was humongous. Unbelievable. And I didn't know what to make of it. He just literally destroyed Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, the third member of the Wyatt family, stone bombing. Unbelievable. This left a lot of people speechless, and this is now making the Wyatt family that much bigger and much more difficult to contend with. Awesome. Then we had Miz TV. Miz brought out Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, and they were none too kind to Miz, and rightfully so. Miz was, pretty much all about himself. He was trying to cause dissension amongst the three. They decided to turn on the Miz. The Bellas came in with Alicia Fox, and all hell broke loose, which set up the 3-on-3 match, which was next to come. And it was a pretty good Divas match as well. But in the end, you know, it was Alicia Fox and Paige in the ring, and Nikki Bella snuck in and really gave a nice forearm or clothesline to Paige, and Alicia Fox ended up covering her for the pin. So that was a pretty good Divas match as well. And then Jon Stewart comes out. He wanted to tell the fans why he did what he did at SummerSlam. The fans were chanting thank you to Jon Stewart. He basically was saying that he's a friend of Ric Flair's. He's been a fan of Ric Flair's, and he did not want John Cena to tie Ric Flair's 16 title reign. Well, with all that being said, Flair's music hit. Ric Flair comes out, and he basically told Jon Stewart that he messed everything up. He said he had no problem with John Cena tying his title reign of 16. He said if anybody were to do it, he would want John Cena because he has that much respect for John Cena. And Jon Stewart told Ric Flair, he goes, I apologize. I didn't think this thing through. I thought I was doing something good for you. And Flair kept telling Stewart that he messed things up. And then John Cena's music hit to a lot of boos once again at the Barclays Center. And this was a side of John Cena that we don't usually see very often. It was a very rare occasion that we see this kind of John Cena. And Ric Flair just stood there and watched as John Cena and Jon Stewart had words with each other. And Jon Stewart basically said to Cena, he goes, I didn't think it through. I was wrong. I was just doing it for Ric Flair. And Cena just went on about his U.S. title belt and how Seth Rollins now has both the WWE title and the U.S. belt. And then all of a sudden picked up Jon Stewart and gave him the attitude adjustment. Cena, without any words, turned around and walked out. This was a side of Cena that I haven't seen in a long, long time. You don't usually see John Cena do this. This was a little heel of John Cena within himself. So with all that being said, that was really a pretty good segment there. We did see a little video, not video, but a little segment with Stardust taking out Barrett and then going on with Neville. Didn't really amount to much, so it really wasn't actually worth really talking about. But anyway, the Authority was having plans to unveil a statue of Seth Rollins because he is now the man, and that was to come later. But we did have an 8-man tag team match with Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, Randy Orton, and Cesaro going up against the Big Show, Kevin Owens, Rusev, and Sheamus. And this match wasn't too bad, but the Big Show got a little bit sloppy. Towards the end, he ended up, knocking out some of his own people. And what happened there was Randy Orton got revenge on Sheamus from SummerSlam, ended up giving him the RKO, and ended up giving him the pin. And the team of Ryback, Sheamus, Ziggler, and Cesaro ended up winning the match. But after the match was over, Owens and Rusev were all, bitching out the Big Show, and the Big Show, pushed them out of the way. But after that, all four of the faces came in and took it upon themselves to take out the Big Show. So pretty good. All in all, pretty good night thus far. And now we have the unveiling of the statue of Seth Rollins. It was sort of cool because when they brought the statue out, which was all covered up, I'm thinking to myself, because just prior to this, John Cena was looking for Seth Rollins, and Stephanie and Triple H had him removed from the building by security. So when the statue came out and it was covered, I'm thinking to myself, the statue's not there. It's going to be John Cena. And so Seth Rollins continued on with his speech, basically saying how he respected Cena, uh, but all the things he said about him in the past, he meant. And he did go out and say Cena was the man for 10 years, and to be the man, you got to beat the man. And of course, Seth said this with a huge grin on his face. And now, as they get ready to unveil the statue, I'm waiting for John Cena to come out and start pummeling Seth Rollins. So all of a sudden, the curtain gets drawn, and I was totally stunned. It was Sting behind the curtain. Sting came out. Triple H and Stephanie looked in fear. Rollins didn't know what to think. Sting came out and started hammering on Seth Rollins. Um, Unbelievable moment. Totally unbelievable moment. He ended up getting Rollins and throwing him out of the ring. Rollins ended up standing there with Stephanie and Triple H as Sting proceeded to grab the world title, the WWE World Heavyweight title. He raised it in his arms, and then the show went off the air. So what this obviously leads us to believe, and it is now a fact, Sting and Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. And I have to say, between now and Night of Champions, I'm wondering where the John Cena situation is going to fit in, because he does have a rematch for the United States belt. So whether he gets that rematch prior to Night of Champions or not remains to be seen. How will Cena be involved possibly in this WWE World Heavyweight title with Rollins and Sting? And will Sting be the guy to take down Seth Rollins at Night of Champions? This is going to be very, very interesting. Um, Overall, I thought Raw was superb. It's one of the best Raws I've seen in a very, very long time. So if you didn't see it, really get the opportunity to watch it. Seeing the Dudley boys come back, seeing the segment with Ric Flair and Jon Stewart and John Cena was totally awesome. And seeing Sting behind that curtain as the curtain was unveiled for the Seth Rollins statue was totally amazing. I think it just pretty much shocked everybody. The WWE pulled out all their stops last night, and I think they did a tremendous job, especially this Raw following SummerSlam. So kudos to the WWE. I have nothing bad to say about this show whatsoever. I think from beginning to end, it was excellent. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts and my opinions here today on the Iceman Wrestling Network on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. Enjoy. Peace out. We'll see you all next time.